Going on, Charles?
How are you?
Well, thank you.
Thank you for taking the time. I know that you're going to be a lot of questions that are the same, so I'm going to throw you a little curveball. Is Zach Morris trash?
Zach Morris trash. That's what I read. I never saw that. What are they claiming?
It's funny because one of the writers is on the writing staff of the
Right, he is. I forgot about that. He is.
right. So his claim is that all these things that Zach Morris did in high school were trashy. But what's your
Probably if you break it down, they probably were. Shoot, I don't know.
um, more to the point, you're working with writers who know the original show, it seems, a creator who probably dove in really hard with it. Does that help with what you guys are doing with this show?
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I think the writers and specifically our showrunner Tracy Whitfield, they really liked the show. They were fans, and in having someone as talented as her, who worked on 30 Rock and Mindy Kaling, won a bunch of Emmys and stuff, be behind it, I think was just such a great blessing. And they struck a great balance with the nostalgia and sort of updating it. And so I was happy the way it turned out in sort of capturing the tone and the certain spirit of it for a reimagining, like what they're calling it. So hopefully, people will check it out and dig it.
The fans have been talking about wanting this a reunion or a reimagining, whatever, the show to come back in some capacity, seemingly for decades. So why now?
Well, I think when we did the sort of reunion on the Tonight Show a couple years back, it sparked a lot of interest, and then reboots started to become a thing. Um, and when I saw Cobra Kai, and I thought they did such an excellent job, and it was so clever. I'm like, well, maybe we can approach it, and if we can do it in a clever way like that, then that would be kind of fun. I was more concerned though if I could pull it off schedule wise because I got a lot going on. So that was the biggest challenge, to be honest. But being that it was with NBC Family, and I'm doing like Access Hollywood, All Access and Access Daily, and my radio show and all that other stuff, then they were pretty accommodating with the schedule. But I'd always just kind of be running around back and forth. So it seemed to work out. And then when we finished it, I was happy with the way it turned out.
Was there any trepidation revisiting something that is so beloved and so revered by its fans?
I mean, it first trips me out that people even care this this is so many years later. Yeah, you didn't want to go into it because there was other versions that were sort of pitched, and I wasn't necessarily a fan. But once I heard Tracy's vision and her, just her pedigree as a writer and showrunner, and the fact that she was really a fan, I felt very comfortable taking a shot. And I think her the ultimate the product ultimately sort of delivers on those on my concerns.
That's good to hear. Did you have to like check in with Mark Paul and with Elizabeth and with everybody who was obviously part of this cast to make sure? I think of it. I don't know if this is a good comparison. The Beatles are always like, we're not doing it unless it's the four of us. So like, did you guys check in some way with that?
Well, sure. We all had to be united in wanting to revisit it, and or else it wouldn't have made a lot of sense or been a lot of fun. But fortunately, everybody signed off.
Was it emotional at all for you to revisit a character who you'd played as a teenager and had done for 4 seasons, and then seasons obviously after that on the college years?
Emotional? No, I thought it was funny that they want to revisit it. I don't really get emotionally attached to to jobs per se, but it was a lot of fun to kind of go down this road again, in this vein where I'm sort of like the authoritative figure now and the older guy and the mentor. So it was kind of fun to revisit it like that.
Well, different question then. Was it hard to tap in, or was it easy to tap in to where your acting head was at playing that character at 16 or 17 years old?
No, not really, because that character a lot was really a lot like me. Like, he wasn't supposed to be um, an athlete. He didn't wrestle. He didn't dance. He didn't play drums. That was something I did that they incorporated. He was supposed to be more like Vinny Barbarino, right? Like Welcome Back Kotter character. So it was already kind of me. So it was easy to kind of just be me. So that was easy. And now, and even the mentor type role was easy because, you know, I'm a dad now with 3 kids, and I got nieces and nephews. And so that was sort of easy too. So it was just kind of revisiting it with a new hat on.
I like that. Was it fun? And I sort of want to wrap this into what you're talking about with Tracy's vision. Was it fun to, I don't want to say make fun of, but send up the original? Because you talk, I've seen you in interviews talk about the Easter eggs that we're going to see that are clearly winks to the original. That, you know, there's the clip of you sitting backwards where you're like, ooh, ow, you know, that's sort of poking fun a little bit at the original. Is that kind of fun for you? And do you think that's sort of part of what Tracy's vision is in a way?
I love doing that. Anytime, I love poking fun at myself, poking fun at the past. And the more I get picked on or made fun of like that, I think it's great. And I think it makes it a lot of fun to play, and hopefully people find it fun to watch.
You know, you are your character is the greatest athlete in Bayside history. I work for a website. We cover mostly sports, some culture. You're now the gym teacher. You know, sports was, to me, kind of very important to the original show with wrestling, baseball, football, the Dodgers game that Zach had to go to. What role does it play in this version?
I mean, it's still prominently featured. You know, I'm the athletic director, and we and also the football coach. The football team is prominently featured. We've got a girl coming out, very progressive. We've got a girl on the team and the whole thing. So it's yeah, I'd say it still has a presence.
You have mentioned the Easter eggs. Is there any Easter egg that you can hint at that we're going to see in the series, that, or one of your favorite jokes, one of your favorite little nods to the original?
I mean, other than a lot of familiar faces from the past, you might see some dancing from the past. You might see some outfits from the past. Um, and I mean, that's off top of my head. I think, you know, and then some lines, obviously. You know, we'll throw back lines.
Um, do you have any theory as to why the show is so beloved all these years later?
The only thing I can think of is because, you know, if you remember, it was a Saturday morning show, so it was very schmaltzy, and there was an innocence which was nice, and we were actual teenagers playing teenagers, which wasn't the case. You know, they usually had a lot of, if you remember in Greece or even 90210, they were a lot older, right, than playing the teenagers. So we were actual teens playing teens. We had a very diverse cast. So I think that made it appealing. People could relate to maybe someone there. And again, that sort of innocence, I think, just kind of brought you back to a simpler time and a happier time. And maybe people are drawn to that.
Hey, thank you so much. Good luck with this. Very exciting stuff, and hope to talk to you down the road.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.